my gut feel is 80 to 70 to 80% digitization of procurement is still undigitized because nobody is solving the strategic sourcing digitization. Everyone is just focused on extremely easy problem, which is 20% indirect spend. The second big problem I want to talk about is how e-procurement tools makes you myopic. They give you illusion of control, and how your process excellence team does a really poor job of just putting fake controls and not solving the root cause. So let's talk about it. E-sourcing tools were put in place to make sure the category managers focus on the strategic aspects only. But after you see on 1 or 2 years, everyone is running from PR to PR because they give you a dashboard view. They tell each category manager how many PRs are outstanding, how many sourcing events are going on, at what stage, etc., etc. And over a period of time, the category managers are just running to clear the backlogs. They are unable to focus on the strategy aspects only. So if you are buying a e-procurement tool in 2022, focus on hyper automation. Remember the sourcing strategy document that we talked about. Your e-sourcing tool should be able to execute on that sourcing strategy on automated basis. So all your category managers needs to do, they should be able to see on an overall basis how many events at what stage, etc., etc., and only step in on exception basis. If you are making your team run the operation PR to PR, chasing the cost avoidance, etc., you're part of the problem. So set the right expectation while buying the right tool from day one itself. The second is your process excellence team needs to really step up your game. They put rigid processes around, making everything longer, making sure nothing gets slipped through. But when you ask them the question, I want you to ask 2 questions to them tomorrow. Tomorrow is Monday. Go and ask them. 1, are you able to clearly tell me how much of my cost saving are getting translated into the EBITDA improvements? Sounds unfair, but it's connected with the whole processes. If the answer is no, and there's clearly lack of savings going into the contribution of EBITDA, you need to really simplify the whole aspect because that is the end game. The second thing I want you to ask them is, can you really tell me how much of my spend is going outside of the contract? Or rather, how much of my spend is tied to the supply contracts today? And if they are unable to answer that clearly, then you need to really look into the performance of your process excellence team. You need to step up your processes, make them more simple. How I would set the process in 2022, I would rather make everything based upon 2 pillars. 1, trust, and I don't want to sound philosophical here. I will explain. 1 pillar is trust. Second pillar is digital transparency. So I will track each and every transaction digitally so that everything gets logged. But using that principle in place, I will put trust in the people to make sure the transaction is executed and decided by themselves up to a certain threshold. But having digital transparency in place, I will build predictive models in place in case there are some outliers. So those outliers are automatically identified and alerted before going for a manual audit. So digital transparency, proactive alerts for outliers, and give your people right to purchase things. For example, I have seen catalogs being put in place and execute for IT procurement only. Those things work. Why don't you make it a more elaborate towards a B2B platform? Now these things are there, but are you using it in your company or not? So this is the second pillar. Third big problem, and it's going to take a while for me to explain this. The third one is about a myopic CPO. What I mean by a myopic CPO. If you as a CPO today are only interested in the information being given to you, such as you will wait for the demand information to come to you and you will just dispatch it to your procurement team and supply chain team so that they can break it down in terms of product SKUs, they can buy, they can maintain inventories, do shipment tracking, and that's all you will do. And lock your cost savings, cost avoidance. You're part of the problem. That might have been good till 2010, but it's certainly not fit enough for 2022. The best in class CPOs are collaborating directly with marketing and sales teams. They are the active contributor and solving two problems for them. One, are you able to help sales and marketing team bring new products to the market faster than your competition? Second, are you able to bring those products not only faster but at a cheaper rate than your competition? Once you solve these two problems using your supplier relationship, using cost engineering, clean sheet analysis, design to cost, all these concepts, if you're able to really add meaningful contribution, then you get a seat at the board. You don't get a seat at the board just playing safe, hiding behind market price increases, hiding behind supply chain disruptions. If you want to be a front runner, you need to come at the table and bring the product cost lower and bring the product faster to the market. These are the three things that I want you to fix if you are in a mediocre procurement setup. I hope this video was useful for you. My name is Gaurav, and I talk a lot about procurement, procurement center of excellence, and data in procurement. I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.